Hello everyone, this is Evelyn, um, coming back to show you a DIY. So there's no makeup or skincare. My tutorials for this channel is not going to base on the same thing. I like to change it. I think I mentioned that in my first video that I like to do DIY Dollar Tree, and makeup and skincare. So it's going to be a little bit of everything. That's what I want my channel to be. So today I'm going to show you guys how Christmas is coming up real soon. And I tell you, anybody that loves candle don't mind not burning it. And I think it's a great gift. And I'm here to show you how I did this images into this candle. I bought the candle at Dollar Tree. This candle is so, I was hesitating because I wasn't sure to purchase because I didn't know the technique that I was going to do would work because it's so solid versus these candles are more thick and heavier. So, you know, what, $1.29, I took a chance and I created this, and I'll be honest with you, the technique that I'm about to show you, it embedded the material, forget it, to the T. It looks really great. This is an old one that I made years ago. It's very old. It's really where I put, for my bathroom, it's a seashell image, and where I put blue sand, and I think this is rice Chinese paper, but I had this paper for years when I used to go in the convention. But this is one that I love stamping, and you know, as a gift. It's really nice. Okay, so now let's begin. Of course, material, you have to have your candle, tissue paper. Make sure you get the flimsy, thin tissue. The thinner it is, the better, you know, the texture on your candle. They do have a side that is shiny, and they also have a side that is matted, which that's where you want to stamp your image if you decide to take it to that level where you want to stamp it. If you're not a stamper and interested in this technique, tissue paper works great also. And there's tissue paper all over that you can find beautiful images in there. There's also techniques where you can also have the image of your family and embed it into the candle, but that's another tutorial if I could get my printer to work that way. So, okay, so we got the tissue paper. I used to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator probably like 5 years ago. So I'm using Stampin' Up! Ink pads, and one is Pretty in Pink and Creamy Caramel. I'm not stamping in the image because if I do and I need to color it, which I'm going to get into that, I just want to make sure that you know what type of ink if you're planning to stamp. But this is not something that you want to stamp and leave it alone or color in because it will bleed. I use Stay On because Stay On you can stamp on glass or anything, and it's fast drying. I'm sorry, it dries very fast. Okay, so I have a stamp. It's a Cherry Blossom. I think it's by, did I buy that? Doesn't say who it's by. I thought it was from Hero, but it's not. I bought this at AC Mall, so I can't tell you that what's the name of the product, who it belongs to. It says Delta Rubber Stamp. So this is the image that I'm going to use. And I love word image. Looks so nice in the candle also. And I got this also at AC Mall years ago. So these are not the Stampin' Up! Stamp. What else we need? Candle, tissue paper, ink. I'm going to color my images, and that's the reason why I need to use this. So when I color the images, it won't bleed. So let's get started. So I'm going to take my ink pad. I already got it into the matted side. I'm going to verify that. Yeah, I got it on the matted side. And trust me, guys, you don't have to worry about getting the image on this tissue paper perfect. That's the great idea about this. So I'm going to make sure you have something underneath, because tissue paper, if you ink, it's going to bleed underneath. So whatever is underneath is going to get stained. So make sure you have something to cover up. So I'm going to stamp this onto the tissue paper. It's going to look like this. Okay? And then I'm going to take the word image and I'm going to stamp that also on tissue paper. You're also going to need wax paper. I forgot to mention that. And I could stamp that anyway because I could stamp it. You know what? Let me give it a shot because when I did this one, I used 2 pieces of tissue paper. So I'm going to try to, let me see how this works. So I'm going to put it next to the cherry blossom flower. It's a beautiful flower. Okay, and if it doesn't work, I ain't worried about it because you're going to see why. So now I'm going to take my marker from Stampin' Up! And I'm using Pretty Pink. So I'm going to color the flowers. And I'll show that once I color this in. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. Nope. Okay. Ooh, too close, too close, too close. Oh, let me move back a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm just dotting in just to color the images of the flower. And I'm not going to go crazy with it. I forgot to actually, you see this background technique? Forgot to do that. Maybe I can still do it because like I said, this type of ink that I'm using now, it won't bleed. So you know what? I'm going to. This is the first thing I should have done first before stamping the image. Let me go back just a little bit. Okay. So what I did was first, I went like this. I just smeared a little bit. And this is what's so good about this paper. It's not smearing the image. That's why I use Stay On. You use Stay On if you're planning to color anything. So I'm using 2 different colors. And this one here is Creamy Caramel. Oops. And it came out of that. I'm not going to fight with it. Sometimes it happens. Alright, I just smeared it a little bit. That's what I did. So there was no special technique for that. I just took the ink pad and just meant to give it some nice color in the background. I wanted to try doing the blue like it was the sky, but that's okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start ripping and I'm going to go as close to the image that I stamped on. And I'll tell you why. Because when you embedded this material, this tissue paper onto your camera, you're not even going to see it. So you can tear it and not be perfect about it. But it helps a lot to tear it close to the image because depending on what candle you use, like this cheap one, I'm so surprised. It took so well, better than the real heavy candle, honestly speaking. Okay, so it's going to look like this. So there's no going cutting out the image. No need for that. Since I already stamped the 2 image, which I didn't do to this one, so it saves me a little bit more time. Alright, so now you got to center it where you want the image to be. And I'm going to cut just a little bit on the top because we do have that edge right here. So I don't want to go over that because I have a lot of room. And then I'm going to take my wax paper. Now, I was trying to see the difference between the shine and the matte, and to me they look both the same, but I didn't worry so much. So I'm going to take a chance on that because that's what I did with the other one. And I'm going to wrap the tissue paper as tight as it can be. Make sure there's no bubbles. Okay? Let me just cover my ink. And then it's going to be a little noisy because I'm going to put my heat gun, which it looks like this. Some people said hair dryers. I tried it and it worked for me. But, you know, hubbies might have a tool downstairs in the basement that might have a heat gun, so take his. So I'm going to start blowing some heat into this candle, and how you know when it's starting, you know, when it's finished, or how you know that it embedded into the candle is by when you start shooting the heat in there, you're going to see like the sweat is shiny, and that's how you know that it's ready. Move it around. Try not to stay on the same area. If your hands are burning, then I advise you to use a hand knitted so you won't get burned. See the shine? I don't know if you can see it. It's hard to see from the camera. But you'll see, once you see it shining, because like I said, if you let the heat stay on the same images, candle's going to melt. So you don't want to do that. As soon as you see it sweating, move on, you know, to another area where you need to embed it with the image. Okay, it looks good to me. So what I do is, I just like, you know, wipe it off to make sure. And you're going to have wax in your hands. Trust me, you're going to have that. Because this is wax paper. Okay? So, now, when you peel it, try to peel it very, very slow. Not that slow, but slow. Because sometimes you will see some, if your tissue didn't take, you can always go back and shoot it with the heat gun. Now, I see, so far, really good. See here? I didn't, I'm not worrying about it because I could peel that. I didn't go to that because I meant to put the image on that line of the candle, but that's okay. But this is what it's going to look like. Look how pretty, guys. Is that beautiful? Oh, wow, that's a great, great gift to give to anyone. And my batteries went out. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So now I got my two. What I did here, and I'm not going to show you because it's going to be a longer process. I used some of these little tiny flat pearls and put it in the middle of the flowers. That's what I did here. So you can, you know, use your embellishment on there if you want to put ribbons, whatever. I put pearls on the top and just a little bit underneath the word. It says follow your dream, for thy hold endless possibility. It's a beautiful saying. I don't know who is it by. I should say on the stamp. So this is what I use to wrap that, you know, cut little pieces of pearls and put them, because they're tiny. The images are tiny, so you want to be able to see the flowers. So these were the tiniest flat beads that I could find. So I'm going to show you how it works also with a little one if you decide you want to do. So now I'm going so fast in my head. I got two already. So I got my set. I'm going to show you how it works with a small little candle. Do not use the wax paper because it's no good no more because you already melt that off. Alright, so I have this stamp image because I don't like always flowers in my candles. I also like images like these antique ladies with a fashion hats. I love it. And this one is my favorite. That's the one I'm going to use. This is by Hero Arts. That I know. I bought this at the convention. So I'm going to take another piece of tissue paper. You know what? I can use this. And I'm going to just tear it a little bit. I'm going to ink it up with my Stay On. Now this one here, you don't need to color it in because it's not an outline image. If you want, you know, so this is just solid. You don't have much to do unless you want to color the image of her face. And I'll show you. Okay. Let me try that one time. I didn't like it. I didn't hit it that hard. Let me try it one more time because I need to get the image to be perfect. Okay, this is good. Okay, that's much better. Now, if I wanted to paint, which I probably should, if I can find the color, give me a minute. I'm going to pick I have a skin color for the skin. I have it somewhere around here from Stampin' Up! Also. I think it's Blush Blossom. Yeah, this is what we use to color our skin. So I am going to color her just a little bit to give her face a little color on my candle. It's not going to make a big difference because, you know what, it's not even showing. Maybe. And I'm just coloring all over. I'm not even worrying about where it goes because it's not going, you know, it doesn't, catch. That's what I like about Stay On. Once again, it don't ink. Okay, so now I'm going to tear this piece off. Just going around. You don't have to be perfect. You just want to go as closest to the image. So just in case you don't have to see the outline. Sometimes you can see in certain candles. All right, let me cut a piece of wax paper. Since this is a little small piece. Too much. Okay. So I'm going to take my candle, my little one. I think this, I don't know the measurement. That's like the tea light one. This one is, I'll tell you. It's 1.5 inch. It's those tiny ones. So I'm going to take it. Make sure that you got the little string sticking up. Okay, and you flush it down, then you take your wax paper. The wax paper helps it to, and some people do it, without the wax paper. To me, it doesn't work. So, like I said, if you're worried about getting burned, put a mitten, a hand mitten that we have in our kitchen. There we go. I'm so used to this, so getting burned, I'm so used to it. I like doing this technique. And this one's going pretty fast. As soon as you see it sweating, it's because it's embedded. And this one is a real fast one. So I'm going to give it a rub. Make sure that embedded into the candle. And I'm going to remove the wax paper slow. And look how pretty. Is that pretty or what? Okay, I wanted to share this technique with you guys. If you have any question, please comment below. If you're a newbie, please subscribe to my channels. Hit me a thumbs up, please. And I will be coming up with my next tutorial. Since Christmas is around the corner, this is when I start getting creative. Because my goals is to take my 6-foot Christmas tree and fill it up with only, handmade by me on my tree. So I'm going to do this one, but this one here takes a lot of pearls. So maybe try something. And I was starting with this one here, and I'm going to show you what this little snowflake is made out. So if you hit that black bell, it'll remind you, it gives you an alert to let you know that Evelyn is doing a video. So I hope you enjoy this. Have a great night, and thank you for watching.